Turn the mic on. Truth in the building. No filters. No politics. No apologies. Dr. Ken, let's go. We don't quit till the whole thing shade. Truth hit hard, make the whole world wait. Real talk loud when the system fade. Stand tall, even when the whole ground break. No fear, no foe, no retreat. Pressure make diamonds when the fire meet heat. All gas, no brakes. When the truth gon' speak, Dr. Ken in the booth.
Truth don't sleep.
Came from the bottom where survival was law. Learn real quick what respect really costs. Everybody got opinions from afar, but they ain't never had to carry those scars. Built from pressure, discipline, pain. Some lose focus, some lose aim. Some sell souls just to chase that fame. I build my brick by brick, no shame. See the world get weak when it need a moment. Too many followers pretending they friends. Too many loudmouths scared to defend any real conviction when the pressure set in. But I stand on business, stand on code, stand on truth when the lies explode. Some fold up when the road gets cold. Some become legends when the story gets told. We don't quit till the whole thing shake. Truth hit hard, make the whole world wait. Real talk loud when the system fades. Stand tall, even when the whole ground breaks. No fear, no foe, no retreat. Pressure make diamonds when the fire meet heat. All gas, no brakes. When the truth gon' speak, Dr. Ken is on.
Truth don't sleep.
Frank. Candid.
Straight to the point.
If nobody else gon' say it, I will. Yeah. Mic check. Truth coming live again. Built for the storm.
Well, I'm going to get going. Get started, go. So what's happening is it feels like it's starting to rain. So I'm going to get moving, and I'm going to start now, because if I let the music finish, I might not be here. I might be hiding somewhere, and then you'll be able to find out where I am. Let me check this YouTube chat to see who is harassing me today. Let me see. Hey, what's up, Quanda? What's up, Study Hall? How's everybody doing? See, the hall monitor's here, so I guess everything will be okay. What's up, SE? Willie, what's going on? Sir Chance, Lucretia, Todd, Jasmine, hey. What's going on? Yeah, let me see anybody. Okay, everybody's just speaking to each other. Hey, Prosperity 555, what's going on? So, check it out. I had a few things happen to me today, but we're going to talk about that really quick. We're going to go through some news stories and all that stuff, get back to some of the things that I used to do. What's the weather looking like? It is now currently 76 degrees, feels like 76. The high was 78. The low tonight's probably going to get around 62 degrees. The 9% chance of rain, well, I'm sitting here, and, well, let's just say it might not be 9%. It might be 90%. So we got to be careful. Always want to remind you that my swag is always available if you want to support and help us move everything forward. So let me put it in the chat. I changed the URL. Is Dr. Ken's, let me type it in, Dr. Ken's swag.printify.me. So it's right there. You don't have to go find it. It's right there, and it's pinned in the YouTube chat. So anybody that wants to help a brother out, support, let your friends know, feel free to do that. So some things that have been on my mind. A couple things happened today I'm going to talk about as well. But I think the one thing that affects each of us, regardless of age or income, education, lifestyle, life experience, it's challenging the way we think, all habits. Understanding why self-awareness is probably one of the most important skills we can develop. Many of us are living a day based on decisions, habits, and beliefs that we developed a long time ago. And so some of these habits have served us well. We go through life and we do all those things, but others may have helped us survive a difficult situation, so we just hold on to it. But the question that we don't ask ourselves is, and something I got to do for myself, is, are these habits still helping us, or are they actually holding us back? Now, think about it. How many people still manage money the way they did when they were 20? How many people just spend it until it's gone and then wait till they get paid again? How many people communicate with coworkers, children, spouses, using patterns they learned a long time ago? How many people automatically react to criticism or conflict or change without ever stopping to ask themselves why? The reality is that habits are powerful because they become automatic and they can really help you. We stop thinking about them. We just do what we've always done. But that's where the danger lies. So there's an old saying, if nothing changes, then nothing changes. So if you want a better career, want a healthier body, want to eat better, we talked about that before, me being on diet and all that. Financial security, we talked about money. But if you keep repeating the same behavior that created and got you where you are now, and you're in a bad space, your future is going to look a lot like your past. So that's why being self-aware, knowing yourself, but actually being self-aware matters. Now, what is that? That's the ability to step outside of yourself and examine what you think, how you act, the decisions you make, and be willing to ask yourself some hard questions. So what are some of those hard questions? You might ask yourself that, right? You might ask yourself, what are some of those hard questions? Why do I respond the way I do? And I'm going to talk about a personal experience I had today about that. Why do I keep making the same mistake? What do I avoid when I avoid certain conversations? Why do I spend money like that? Why do I get defensive? Which is kind of weird because you're defending yourself, and I think you should, but not when they're offering you feedback. A lot of people spend time evaluating everybody else. Self-aware people evaluate themselves, and that's pretty difficult to do. It's not a self-criticism. It's not about beating yourself up. It's not about thinking about all the stuff you failed at. It's simply looking in the mirror without excuses. One of the reasons self-awareness is difficult, why it's hard, and I can attest to this. Your ego likes comfort. Our ego wants to believe we're already right. It's somebody else's fault. The circumstances, the politics, the economy, the boss, the president, our family, or I'm just not lucky. But growth begins when we stop asking who's to blame and we start asking ourselves, what can I learn? The most successful people I know constantly reassess themselves. That's something I try to do. I struggle at it. Sure, I have an ego. They don't assume that because somebody worked and told you 10 years ago that something works, it's going to work today. They understand that the world changes. We've been talking about AI. Technology changes, relationships change, leadership changes. And if you're not willing to adapt, you are going to become irrelevant. Well, you might. Look at businesses that fail because they refuse to change. Sears, where's it at? JCPenney. Here's an old one. Montgomery Ward's. See the pattern? Big box stores and Amazon came along and all that. So the common denominator is not a lack of intelligence. It's a lack of self-awareness. So the people around you see things about you that you don't see yourself. That's why if you are around somebody and you want to give them feedback, it's important to know how to give that feedback. How do you tell somebody about themselves? It's important, but you also have to remember not all criticism is valid, but all of it deserves some examination so you can decide whether or not it's good or not. So when somebody you trust points out a blind spot Don't immediately become defensive. Ask yourself, could it be true? Sometimes the greatest breakthroughs in life come from recognizing something you've either been unwilling to see or you just didn't see. You got to reflect on it. Here's what I do. 1, keep a journal. It's pretty raggedy. You can see it's all torn up in pages, and I write in it every day. And once a week I go through and I read it from the beginning to see how thoughts I've had change, see how things I think about change. Ask somebody you trust to give you some honest feedback. What do I need to change? What do I need to fix about myself? Look at your success and your failures. Pay attention to the problems that keep popping up. If money problems keep popping up, guess what? You got a money problem. I'm just saying, you got a problem with it. Patterns reveal habits. Habits reveal beliefs, and beliefs will actually shape your outcome. Now, the goal isn't perfection. The goal is making progress towards it. So every day, we have an opportunity to become a little wiser, a little more thoughtful, a little more intentional than we were the day before. Don't try to do it next week. Don't make your goal next month. Just change today. People who refuse to examine their life are stuck where they are. People who are willing to rethink old habits create the possibility of a future, because nothing's really promised, right? So ask yourself the one question. What is the one habit, belief, or behavior you've been carrying for years that deserves a second look? Now, I can't answer that for you, but you can. Your answer might be the first step, maybe, towards becoming the person you're always capable of becoming. That person is complete. And that's my view, frank, candid, and, well, you know, straight to the point. I'll be right back. Hey, thanks for joining me here on Dr. Ken's Truth. It's a great day. Hope I don't get rained on. I might have to talk fast or cut it short depending on, whether or not it rains. So I had an incident today. So I go to my favorite coffee shop and I'm, chilling and I'm leaving. And as I'm driving out, I forget where I was going. As I'm driving out, there's this black kid on a bike, about 15 years old, 14, 15, right in there, and a white kid on a bike riding up, and they ride past me. And my window's down because it's warm, and I like fresh air. I'm not necessarily an air conditioning guy unless I really, really actually need it. And then after I cool off, I roll down the windows like fresh air, even when it's hot. And as the kid's riding by, I hear him say something, and then he hollers, "Homeless nigger." And I go, huh? And I stopped for a minute before I got out in traffic. I was still on the parking lot, and did he just say that? And I turn around and look, and it's a black kid. and there's a white kid riding a bike behind him. I think, just, kids being kids. But I remember there's a homeless guy back by the Starbucks that I just came from. And, well, technically he's not by the Starbucks. He's in the middle of businesses, so he's just standing there leaning against the wall. Well, as I was leaving, there was a white male, probably in his 50s, salt and pepper hair. He's like changing either plants or putting boxes outside or something. And he hears the kid, and I hear him say something to the kid. And I lean out, and he says, "You're being disrespectful. You shouldn't say that." And he has words with the black kid. And that's when I stopped, and I got out the car, and I turned around to listen. And he tells the kid, "That's disrespectful. You shouldn't talk about people like that." And you can see the kid, he gets his face, "Oh, well, you can't, like, talking to me for? You ain't nobody." And so he says, the white guy says, "You shouldn't talk to the kid like that." I holler to the white guy, "Did you hear what he said?" He said, "Yeah, I heard him. And he shouldn't have said it." And the black kid says, "The homeless guy threatened me." And I thought about that, and I said, so if he threatened you, why are you riding in the parking lot? You weren't in the parking lot. As I was leaving, you were coming in, and you were riding up there, and you started doing circles in the parking lot. The homeless guy never moved from the wall. He was just standing there. And he wasn't bothering him. And I thought to myself, if he was a threat, why would you come back to the parking lot? Were you going to confront him? Were you going to call the police? Were you going to tell somebody? He didn't do any of that. He was just riding around on his bike, had wireless headphones on, probably listening to music or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, if you were threatened, why would you come back? Wouldn't you tell somebody? Go tell your parents. Go tell the police. And then it clicked. And I thought to myself, I'm leaving. And I got in my car and I drove away. Now, you might think, why did I drive away? Because I'm thinking, if this kid, first of all, he couldn't have been scared enough that, and I don't know what happened earlier. Something might have happened earlier. But you weren't scared enough to return with somebody with you and holler the word homeless nigger. And I thought, he couldn't have been that scared. But then I thought, if he would say that homeless guy threatened him, what would he say about me? So I said, you know what? I'm not the police. And nobody's touched anybody. It was only words. I got in my car and I drove away. And I said, it's not worth. But it bothered me that this kid would say that about a homeless person. Now, I'll admit, I wasn't always embracing of the homeless, right? Growing up, I always thought, well, maybe it was their fault or maybe they did something. I don't know if the guy was a veteran. I don't know if he wanted to be homeless and chose to be homeless. I don't know if he fell on hard times and lost his job. I don't know. But for whatever reason, he was homeless. Now, when we talk about habits we have, when we talk about being self-aware, when we talk about being a complete person, I had to re-examine what I thought about homeless people. Because every day I would see this guy, and every day I wouldn't say anything. Every day he might nod, I'll nod back. But I never gave him any money. I never bought him a meal. Sometimes people move me to do that, and other times they don't. And I think it's because I'm judgmental. I tend to judge homeless people. Sometimes you see them out and they got a clean shirt on and clean shoes and nice pants with a sign that says, "Help, I need money." Well, they might have just become homeless and they still, have their clothes about them and are still clean Even though they may not have taken a shower for a day or two, they're still pretty normal, right? Well, I guess normal might not be the right word. Time hasn't taken over their appearance and their clothes and all that. The elements haven't affected them, but they might later. And I had to check myself to go, you know what? How do you treat homeless people? What do you think about homeless people? And why do you always tend to look at homeless people as if, they could fix it for themselves? It's not always the case. And so I had to ask myself a question. What are you doing for homeless people? And so I want to toss a, see if I can remember how to do it. I want to put a poll question in, based on the story I told you, right? Did I handle this the right way, or was there something else I should have done? Go to the YouTube chat and do the poll. I'm unsure. Should I have called the police on the kids? I don't think so. They really didn't do anything wrong. They said something I didn't like. But did they really do anything wrong? I thought that what they said was incorrect. I thought they should have been corrected on that. But was I the person to do that? And it could have escalated, because if this kid had lied and said the guy threatened him and he was lying, he could have lied on me. Hey, that guy threatened me. That guy pulled a gun. That guy has a knife. He chased me. He could say anything. And them being a juvenile probably would have been believed more than me. And I thought about that. And that's the reason why I left. I said, don't put yourself in a situation where somebody else has control over your life. So I was just wondering. That's my poll question. Did I handle that the right way? Go to the YouTube chat and check out the poll. When we come back, I'm going to scroll through the YouTube chat and see what some of your comments were. And we're back. Thanks for tuning in. You're with Dr. Ken's Truth here on this day, and I want to say thanks for hanging out. Thanks for doing. So before the break, we were talking about homelessness and the incident that we talked about in the parking lot, and I talked about how I said something, but then I didn't intercede because of what I thought might occur, or this kid decides that I did something wrong. So I was just wondering, and that's the poll that I put in. Did I handle it the right way, or what exactly should I do? Let me go through the chat. Hey, what's up, SE? Kwanda, what's going on? Fix your face before you come back on. What's up, Willie? Sir Chance, what's going on? Lucretia, Todd, Todd say, afternoon, Dr. Ken. I know everywhere you're not. Okay. Jasmine, what's up? Let me see who else. Prosperities. These are all the people I say hello to already. Hey, what's up, Kathleen? Good afternoon. Hope you're using your cup, getting you a nice cup of coffee. Let's see who else is up in here. Sincere Ronnie Ray Real. What's going on? Why do I say that when I say his name? Ronnie Ray Real. Just like Babar. No AC equipped in the car. Yeah, I got AC in the car. I most certainly do. I just like fresh air, just like I'm sitting out now. I like even when it's hot. Todd said, critical thinking, Dr. Ken. Babar said, sometimes homeless do not ask for money. They're just standing there at the same time, same place every day, like being in a loop of some sort. Yeah. Might be true. Todd said, they're not all homeless looking for dope money. It's a shame. They were born wanting to be addicted. Well, they may not. I think, Todd, I differ in that thought. How can I say this? Just say it. Black people, many times, white people come up with preconceived notions about why black people are in the predicament they are. Why don't those black people clean up? And we keep transferring our values to other people. You keep transferring your values to other people. And then we find them wanting because they don't fit what we think they should be, or they don't match our experience. Those experiences are different. And we don't know why they're homeless. We don't know what caused them to be homeless. All we know is that they're homeless. And so I think we should meet the need that they have right then and there versus trying to judge why they got that way. A lot of headroom. Instead of judging how they got there and why they're there, we should have to put it back so I can read. I think it's important that we not assume they're on drugs or they need it for liquor money or anything, and then ask them, what do you want? That's what I usually do. Hey, what do you want? Hey, I'm hungry. Okay, well, let's go get something to eat. If they want the money for something else, usually they'll say, well, that's okay. Or they'll ask for, well, do you have anything else? Part of that is, do you want to, every time they see you, they zero you out and go, hey, that person gave me money last time, I'll get money. Like, those are all the things that go through my head. And I think it's being judgmental when I do that. Let me go back to the YouTube chat. Yeah, just go ahead and leave. That was an odd situation. That's what Jasmine said. Ty said, I totally agree with you. Yeah, it just rubbed me the wrong way, but I wasn't about to stay there and then get myself, jammed up because somebody else decided they wanted to do something. So there's a chat. There's a poll in the YouTube chat. Did I handle the situation the right way from what I explained? Right now, 67% said yes and 33% said no. So we'll see. Let's move on. Let's see what kind of news is going on today that you need to know. Let me see. Summerfest season. Milwaukee Summerfest calendar remains in full swing following a major pride celebration and ahead of Summerfest, supporting tourism, hospitality, and downtown business activities. So we'll see. My sources for stories today come from Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, Wisconsin Public Radio, Wisconsin Watch, Reuters, Associated Press, Black Enterprise, The Root, News One, MIT Technology Review, TechCrunch, Morningstar, Wall Street Journal Market. So I'm talking about all those things. A Jefferson Bikeway project is drawing attention. Residents are discussing the city's development. The Jefferson Bikeway project on Jefferson Street, part of broader efforts to improve bicycle infrastructure. They're trying to get us off buses and out of cars. And multimodal transportation options. Community feedback has been active as construction progresses, usually from what? From complaining that there's more construction. By the way, there's a Bob Uecker tribute mural. Like they're planning a large-scale mural honoring Milwaukee broadcasting legend, baseball icon Bob Uecker, and it's generating some local excitement. The project reflects continued efforts to celebrate Milwaukee cultural and sports figures. But what's going on around Milwaukee? Have y'all heard of PFAS? PFAS, that stuff that's in water that makes it undrinkable. The state finalized a $10 million Tyco PFAS settlement. They reached a $10 million settlement with Tyco Fire Products regarding PFAS contamination in the Marinette area that's up north. Funds will go into the state's PFAS trust fund while the company will continue remediation efforts and replace wells where necessary. Also, there's some debate about it because they said the settlement doesn't go far enough, while state officials characterize it as a significant step towards accountability, long-term cleanup of contaminated water supplies. And of course, we all know the politics is going on. I think one of the TV stations, Channel 12, is it? I think, I'm not sure, is doing a debate with all 7 candidates for governor. So that'll be, yeah. And of course, we're a battleground state as candidates file for office, national political figures. Trump just left the other day, went to the Knicks game and caused an uproar. So, we'll see. What's going on nationally? The Federal Reserve is expected to hold rates steady, so they'll probably be unchanged for the remainder of the year. Inflation is still above target. Labor markets stay relatively strong, though people are getting jobs. Speaking of jobs, heard a great quote the other day. A person said, people may lose their job to AI, but people that understand and use AI can be more productive. So you can be a 40-hour-a-week employee doing 60 hours worth of work. If you understand AI, then I'm going to hire that person who can do 20% or what's that? Anyway, who can do more work using AI and be more productive. I'm going to pay that person more and keep that person around. So you might want to look into AI. Of course, this Iran stuff is going on. The conflict remains a central global concern. We got Iran, we got Israel, we got the United States. Diplomats are still trying to work it out. People got shot at the other day, so they think Iran did it. Negotiations are focused on sanctions, security guarantees, regional stability. I don't know what's going to come of that, but kind of getting tired of it. But that's just me. Energy prices continue to pressure consumers, and so they're not going down anytime soon because Iran is going on. They're using it as an excuse to raise oil prices, even though we already have oil, so we'll see. And inflation outlook remains uncertain. Persistent energy-driven inflation is complicating monetary policy decisions, raising concerns about the possibility of slower growth, higher prices, and who struggles? You and me. Which is weird because global technology is still strong. OpenAI, that makes ChatGPT, is about to do an initial public offering and go public. But it's only those tech companies that seem to be making money. Let's look at Black America. Juneteenth programming is expanding nationwide. Organizations across the country are finalizing Juneteenth celebrations focused on history, civic engagement, entrepreneurship, education, cultural preservation. That's coming up in about 10 days. Milwaukee, which, if I'm not mistaken, hosts the largest Juneteenth celebration in the country. That'll be down there. So I might make it down. I'm not a big fan of crowds like that, but I might make it down. Workforce development efforts gain momentum. Community groups, historically Black organizations, and nonprofits continue expanding mentoring, career readiness, leadership development initiatives aimed at increasing Black economic opportunity. The other thing we're focusing on, especially Black business leaders and advocacy organizations, are focused on entrepreneurship and home ownership, access to capital, and the one that I think is most important, financial literacy. those things are going to lead to long-term wealth building priorities. Now, we talked about AI earlier. AI seems to be driving the market. So when people feel happy about AI, I guess the market does great. The problem is those who are struggling usually don't have enough money to invest to actually take advantage of market-driven performance. So that's one thing. AI research is expanding into infrastructure monitoring. So researchers are applying AI and large-scale analytics to study internet resilience, cybersecurity, and national infrastructure disruptions, improving detection and response capabilities. I don't know if I want AI doing that. I don't know. But it kind of scares me. So my poll question of the day, did I handle the situation right? That's in the YouTube chat. Of course, when you go to YouTube, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Make sure you click the notification bell. Make sure you follow so that everything's going. Let me check the chat before I take a quick break. Aaron said, I rocked to a euchre since Mr. Belvedere. Okay. Aaron said, good afternoon, Dr. Ken. Babars. Okay, he's talking to somebody else. So, anyway. So, we'll be back. And, of course, when we come back, you know what's going to happen, right? You know what's going to pop up. We are going to hit my favorite part of the podcast, Top 5, F5. Hey, welcome back. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris on Dr. Ken's Truth. Let me double check the weather, see what's going on in the weather today. By the way, if you're in the Milwaukee area until Wednesday, 10 a.m., there's a dense fog advisory if you're doing some driving. It's 76 degrees right now. Now they bumped the high to 79, so we'll see. Now it's a 6% chance of rain. So, interesting. Very, very, very interesting. So, by the way, while I'm at it, let me just give a more intense weather update.
Number 5.
Based on what the Weather Channel tells us, it's looking like it's going to be humid and hot, followed by severe storms. CBS 58 said humidity has arrived. We've had a few muggy days so far, dew points in the 60s. This morning it was already 70 degrees, and now it's 75, 76. Dew points are going to hang out. They're expecting the high today to go even higher to 82, Wednesday 87, Thursday 85. So it's gonna be like tropical. It'll be like being down in the islands. However, multiple rounds of storms look likely for Wednesday and Thursday. A cluster of storms may be possible tomorrow morning, although there's some uncertainty where the cluster's going to track. They don't know where it's going to go, and it could miss us and go north or south, or it could come through and just rock us where we sit. So, there's always that. And this next story, I gotta ask, like, what was this guy thinking?
Number 4.
So, from JS Online, when an embattled landlord facing one of the city's largest nuisance orders in recent memory show up to a meeting where they were cracking down on nuisance properties. Well, David Tomblin did that. I don't know why. In an interview with Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel ahead of the meeting, Tomblin said he was there to show face at a public hearing, but declined to comment about the current legal action against him. The city's Steering and Rules Committee was meeting to discuss how the city targets nuisance properties and owners and how the Milwaukee police could improve a system for tracking calls for service that could be used as evidence of nuisance orders. Well, this guy, Tomblin, is facing multiple lawsuits in Milwaukee and California regarding business practices, including a U.S. bank lawsuit filed in January against one of his multiple LLCs owning properties in Milwaukee. He owes roughly $355,000 in tax debt to the city. And in March, the city attorney's office filed legal action against Highgrove Holdings Management, LLC, and Tomblin's complex network of business entities after investigations into, get this, widespread property neglect, code violations, unpaid property taxes, and safety and security concerns. He's overseen, get this, and this is why I like owning property, but this is why I don't like when people own property. Highgrove has overseen an estimated 260 properties, most of which have been left vacant and dilapidated as far back as 2020. I don't get it. So then you show up at a meeting? I don't know, but I had to ask the question. What was he thinking?
Number 3.
So this story is an update to the Wisconsin, the Baird Center, that Wisconsin Center District guy, Marty Brooks. Well, also from JS Online, Convention Center boss Marty Brooks was offered $380,000 to resign. Would you do that? Hey, quit, and we'll pay you $380,000. Let me think about it. I wouldn't take that too hard. He spurred it. He said no less than a week before they fired him. That's according to two sources with direct knowledge of the severance package offered by the Wisconsin Center District, which owns Baird Center, UW Milwaukee Panther Arena, and Miller High Life Theater. Brooks was named district CEO and president in 2018. Those sources told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel the $380,000 offer drew little support from board members. One source said the offer occurred before the district completed an internal investigation which uncovered more than what? $50,000 of inappropriate charges Brooks allegedly made to district credit cards. Now, if you know you had did that, and you knew you did, well, let me speak about me. If I knew I did that, and I know I did wrong, would I take the money and run? I don't know. Would you take the money and run? And as I'm scrolling through all the stories, I come across a story and I go like, wait, what?
Number 2.
This from CBS 58. A woman is claiming her former Whitefish Bay OBGYN artificially inseminated her with his sperm without her consent. Mary Ellen Lukasich says she relied on OBGYN Dr. Frederick G. Detman when looking for fertility treatment as she looked to conceive a child back in April 1980. Dr. Detman reportedly worked for decades at 5589 North Bay Ridge Avenue in Whitefish Bay, practicing obstetrics, gynecology, and infertility medicine. Well, according to her lawyer, Lukasich consented to artificial insemination using the sperm of a medical student who was an anonymous donor. She gave birth to her son, Joseph Ladke, February 14th of 1983. Well, with genealogy testing, reportedly discovered his father had several other biological connections and was able to trace it all the way back to who? Dr. Detman. Ladke and Lukasic believe they're not the only victims, as Lukasic, through the genetic testing, discovered multiple half-siblings. Well, guess what? Whitefish Bay Police released police logs dating back to 1985 and 86 where a woman accused him of sexually assaulting her. August 19, 1985, a man stated his wife was sexually assaulted while in a gynecologist exam with Dr. Detman. Doctor denied the allegations, and the next day, the DA reportedly declined to issue charges as burden of proof was too difficult. In April of 1986, the Medical Examining Board, this is all from CBS 58, considered the relevant facts and voted to close the case without further action. Oops. Hindsight is 2020. When reached out to, that's the board of the examining board, for information and comment, they haven't heard back. CBS 58 is still waiting. Whitefish Bay Police say they have no other records since they were destroyed according to records retention laws that were in place at the time. There's no current investigation. That's per the Whitefish Bay Police Department. So yeah. Interesting. Dr. Detman is, according to Wisconsin Department of Financial Institutions, registered with the state September 1976, dissolved his practice in December 1997, and is believed to now be a 92-year-old man living in Scottsdale, Arizona. CBS 58 reached out, but didn't hear back. They also reached out to Whitefish Bay Police to see if they're investigating the case. Would you? I don't know. Makes absolutely no sense. That is one of the craziest stories I've ever heard. And then my final story, well, shooting in Milwaukee.
Number 1.
This from WISN 12. Milwaukee police are investigating a shooting near 2 schools and a daycare center on the city's north side that left a 31-year-old man hospitalized. Officers responded to the scene at 44th and Center at 7:57 a.m. this morning, just blocks from Milwaukee Math and Science Academy, Washington High School, and a child care center. The school was not put on lockdown. Washington High School Principal Joe Frias, F-R-I-A-S, sent a note to families just after 8 a.m. to tell them the school was safe and secure, that classes would continue as scheduled. Evidence markers were scattered across outside Jay's Food convenience store on the corner. Police taped the block in front of the daycare for much of the morning while they investigated, and the police are seeking the person or persons responsible for the shooting. Well, that's what's going on today. Thought I'd share that with you. It's been great hanging out. Let me go back and check this YouTube chat to see where y'all was hollering at me at. Let's see. So now they talking to each other. How the kids doing? Blah, blah, blah. Did you go see the Melania movie yet? Okay. That's interesting. Let's see if there's anything added before I get out of here. Hey, what's up, LT? How's it going? Todd said he just heard a clue. No, you didn't. Anyway, check the poll. I'm going to take another minute or so for you to vote. Did I handle the situation earlier I talked about with the black kid on the bike with the white kid with him? I don't know if they were friends or not or anything. I don't know the relationship. And the black kid called the homeless guy in the parking lot the homeless nigger. And I thought that was a travesty. Not that he used the words, but that he hollered it to the homeless guy. You use what words you want, but when you start harassing people, that's not right. And then the older white guy heard him and said something about it, as I did. But then I left, because if you'll say that about the homeless guy and his excuse was that, the homeless guy threatened him, then what would he do if I said something to him? He might go back and tell somebody I tried to do something to him. So I got in my car and left. And it bothered me, and it made me start to think about, when I talked about in my opening, being a complete person, being self-aware, and recognizing, how do I treat homeless people? And that I need to do better at helping people that are in need. And so that's what drove me to put, did I handle the situation the right way? And I'm going to end the poll at 78% said yes, and 22% said no. So what am I supposed to do? Beat the kid up or something? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying that it's important that we always remember that but by the grace of God go I. You know what I mean? It could be any one of us that could be in that particular predicament. So I guess we got to be careful. Hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the podcast, Dr. Ken's Truth. Make sure you tell your friends. I'll probably wait till the end of this week, or maybe the first week of July. I'll start promoting it, doing commercials and ads, promos, and tossing it on social media. We can see what happens. So we can hang out here each and every day. Want to say thank you for being here. Thanks, SC. Have a great evening. And no matter what, I'm going to do my best to be here. Next week will be a little weird, you know, but I'm going to do my best to be here daily, even if it's for a few minutes, to say, hey, what's up? To check in, let you know everything's going great. Hey, God bless. Take care. And always remember, love you. Deuces. Tick your head.
Quiet.